Hey everybody, welcome to Intentional Academy Live episode 13, special episode tonight. I'm Tony Farrar, joined by Nicole Farrar and Justin Thomas. As always, we're here to help you squeeze every last drop of value out of your education, help you win through the power of intentional learning. No matter where you are in life, we're out to help you manage your time, get control of your money, and launch your dream career. And to do that, we have a special episode. It's going to be a little different than normal. No questions from the Academy community. This is preview episode for our upcoming workshop, Midterm Rehab, which
Coincidence.
if you haven't been following along, here's the deal. It's that time of year. We've got midterm and homework and projects. All this stuff just never seems to end. Thank God spring break's coming soon. But even so, it still all has to get done. On top of that, everybody's feeling a little stressed about their money, wondering if there's more semester than there is savings left. How are we going to make it to the summer? And even if we do make it, maybe you're having trouble finding a job. No prospects yet. Maybe you just struck out at the career fair. Okay, take it from somebody who's never actually gotten a job from a career fair.
Me either.
You're not alone. And so,
Well,
there you go. 1 out of 3. And so we're making a workshop.
Yeah. This is the time where all those well-laid plans and budgets and things start to veer. And you're really excited about it in the beginning, and then things happened, right? Whatever those things may be.
Right.
For me, it's complacency.
Yeah, I run out of steam after a while. For me, everything's on a semester to semester basis, and it's always this. But at the last 3 or 4 weeks of the semester, all I'm thinking is, man, next year I'm gonna nail it. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna be on top of things and this, that, and the other. And then right about now, everybody's tired again.
Yep.
Understandable. So what are you doing?
So what I've done is I've created a short set of videos. Anybody who knows me knows that was a really hard task. I speak in pages, not paragraphs. And this is the no fluff, no BS, little bit of idea, but all action. What I'm working on is actual tools that I use day in and day out, and that a lot of our students are.
At this point, people need just direction. Do this. Nothing ambiguous or.
Well, they've made so many decisions. Like somebody makes a decision for me.
Yeah, because one of the things I've noticed is, I'm really excited about all our content, but it's a lot of mindset, and sometimes we need to just get down to the execution. How do you actually take these ideas that are floating around in your head and make them do something? Well, that's what we're up to. That's what we're gonna give you in this thing. And so we actually have 5 tools that we're going to talk you through that will help you instantly feel in control again on your time and your money and your career. So I think these things are linked, especially for students. We're busy and we're stressed, and there's that part that makes things hard. But on top of that, money worries about what we're going to do this summer, it all compounds, and you're a whole person. And so just because one area, it can bleed into others. And so we're focused mostly on the time thing, but we are going to do some finance and career things as well to really just get you going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
Justin's got some fancy art slides that show off the tools.
I've been popping them up. Yeah.
Nice. That's okay. We have talked about all these things before, but
Mhm,
just at a high level, let me tell you what they each are. How about that?
mhm,
So, time budget is this idea that instead of just trying to cram everything into our lives, we and get it done as quick as you can or as soon as you can, or things just take as long as they take. It's this idea of saying no, based on my priority. This is how long I'm going to give this particular thing,
mhm.
and we can actually see how many things you're committed to, help you work through the process of only committing to things that actually move you forward in life. So there
Mhm,
might be a couple hard decisions to make, some no's here and there,
mhm.
but for the most part, it's commanding your time instead of just being a victim of it.
This is a really good one because I know everyone does this. You don't realize that you wasted time you didn't need to waste. If you don't say, I'm going to work on this for an hour, you end up working on it for 3 hours and you could have done it in an hour. And
Mhm.
that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
People get lost in whatever the reasoning is, if you're a perfectionist or distracted or what have you.
Yeah, and that's me. The only thing I know that I'm not allowed to say to you
Mhm.
is it took longer than I thought it
I don't even like hearing that phrase.
would.
It's
Ah,
because he used to say it all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
I would go to work every day with a list of things that I would get done, and I would go home and the list was done, which would be at like midnight.
Mhm.
And that's just the wrong attitude to have.
And
So,
then you still got things done and came home at the right time.
exactly.
So,
And that's the transformation we're trying to make here
yep.
is go from just working until it's done to stopping work and still having it be done.
Yep.
Believe it or not, this actually works.
Mhm.
And to go with that, then,
Mhm.
is once we decide what it is we're going to do, and we kind of ruthlessly say, these are the things that are important enough to deserve room in my life,
Mhm.
then we move to the ideal week, which is kind of like a fancy calendar.
Mhm.
What it helps you do is actually schedule appointments with yourself to do all those things that you just said you were going to get done.
Mhm.
And I know at first this sounds like it might be more restrictive because you've got this schedule to stick to, but it's not that specific of a schedule.
Just
And
blocks.
yeah, it's
We'll
big
let them
blocks
see
of
it
time,
in the
Yeah.
worksheet.
and it's done wonders for me. And honestly, I feel like I have more flexibility to be spontaneous because I get the things done,
Mhm.
and then I save all this white space in my day to
Mhm.
do what I want.
And that doesn't
And
mean you can't get it done faster either.
sure,
Exactly.
It's in your lifetime. So what's after that? We've got
so
ideal
that's
week and
yeah,
then
ideal week, time budget.
mhm.
After that, it's kind of almost mapping elder income situations than just about anybody.
Mhm.
Life is full of peaks and valleys. Feast or famine. You're making lots of money over the summer, we hope, or you get a huge refund deposit after your student loans clear
Or
one
you get
day
a
in
bunch of
August,
money once every semester from
right?
whatever parents, financial aid, whatever it
All that
is.
kind of stuff, scholarships and things,
Mhm.
Tax
and
return.
right.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Taxes.
yeah.
Nothing comes very weekly or regularly. It's
Right.
all kind of large and random.
Maybe you're the type that still has a part-time job during the semester, and so
Mhm.
there's this little trickle. But even that, a lot of times, what I hear students saying is that
Mhm.
they're varying their hours based on their school load, and so the
That's not the
money
same.
it's just all over the
Yeah.
place. I
So
think after working with a bunch of students, we finally have a system that levels this out in a way that makes sure that you've got what you need for the big things,
mhm.
for the surprises,
Mhm.
and then your day-to-day, month-to-month expenses.
Mhm.
And so we're calling that the irregular income plan.
Mhm.
And then tied with that is a budget that will help you actually control your spending in a way where you can feel the freedom to do the things you like to do
Mhm.
without the guilt that usually comes with it. I remember through most of school just going in to any store, and when it was time to pull that card out and swipe it, getting a knot in my stomach of one, I hope this clears, and two, I hope that doesn't stop me from eating next week.
Yeah.
And
When you don't have the information, you're just always stressed.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so this is very much about getting aware of where you're at,
Mhm.
give you a couple tricks and tips to stay on top of it, and then to command your money in a way that you can enjoy spending the money that you do spend.
So, we're
Which
gonna
is
get
kind of-
you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we're gonna get your time budgeted so that you can spend all of this extra money you're gonna figure out how to have to do the things you'd like to do
Sure.
and not be stressed.
Sure. And I guess we could segue sidebar for just a second here.
Okay.
We have big news in our family.
We are close. Close, so close.
So close. Like the paycheck that we get on
Thursday.
Thursday's paycheck, we're going to write the last check and be completely debt free.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if we're gonna be able to do a debt-free Scream with Dave Ramsey, so we're gonna do one sort of.
yeah, we're going to
quiet yell.
stream. Yeah, we're going to put Luke to bed on Friday, and then we're going to stream us paying off the last bill right here on Intentional Academy.
Just a quick little video. It's more for us than you.
So coming out on Friday, if you want to see what it looks like to pay off $95,000 in 2.5 years.
And have a really big smile. And get tacos. Sorry, that's.
We're having
totally-
tacos?
I don't know, but I remember making a video of myself when I really wanted tacos and I couldn't get them because it wasn't in our budget.
Mhm.
And I said, when we're debt free, I'm getting some tacos. So that will be happening.
What
And
do you-
Tony is going to eat from a food truck.
Yes. I
every
was waiting for
week.
that.
It's cool.
Yes, I am.
Instead of his PB&J, and you better take a picture of everything you eat and put it on Instagram.
Done. Consider it done.
Because you keep
Holy
posting
smokes.
peanut butter and jelly.
Isn't it like
Every
a-
week it's going to be like,
Isn't it like a thing in like especially in Asia right now where people just like live stream themselves eating?
Oh, social eating. It's big.
Yeah. So we will
that's
eat
taking a
tacos
whole
and
new
pay
level.
off our debt on Friday. It's
Okay.
gonna be great.
That's a whole new level because I take pictures of the food that I eat.
No. This is
But
watch
this
us
is
sit here and eat it. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
I want to see you chew it.
Mm.
Chew that debt-free taco.
It might be more entertaining if we filmed Luke eating.
So although we're not financial
But-
professionals, the fact that we've been able to pull this off and feel in control, and by the way, still take a lot of really fun trips and see friends and
Oh,
live a good
yeah.
life, that's the credential. That's
Mhm.
why we feel comfortable talking to you about budgeting and all of that. And interestingly enough, maybe I'll tell the story on Friday, but this is how we got into all of this stuff. It started with
Mhm.
figuring out the money. And
Yep.
the lesson that I learned here was life is definitely not all about money, but your money is definitely a reflection of your life.
Mm.
And there were some other areas that needed cleaning up,
Mhm.
especially for me, that were reflected in my spending. And when I started attacking the spending, these other things came to light.
Mhm.
And the time, the career, all this stuff that we talk about here kind of traces back to that one pucker moment
Mhm.
when we saw the first student loan go and thought, oh my gosh, we can't live this way.
Yeah. And eventually Justin will be getting one of his own videos.
Hey,
Oh yeah. We're
That's
tracking for like October.
I like it.
2018, baby.
Mhm.
That's
But yeah,
exciting.
it gets back to you have a plan, so therefore you don't have to think about what's next. So I'm going somewhere. I have a plan. I know exactly where that money is. I have it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to stress about it. And it's the same way with your time. That's the same philosophies of the money budget goes for the time budget.
Yep.
I know exactly what I should be doing right now because I've already mapped it out.
Yep. I'm never fighting traffic. I'm never running for the train. I'm never worried that I'm going to be late. Sometimes I'm frustrated. It always seems to break on the way home. It took me an extra 45
I
minutes to get
have
home. today.
never heard of more reasons for a train to be delayed than living in Philadelphia on your way home.
They'll get it together one
There's
of these
ice on the
days.
train. There's a car on the tracks. This train ran into another train. I don't know. The little thing that makes the things switch got broken. I mean, it's ridiculous. Every time I turn around, Tony's like, I don't know.
There's good
Something's
people
wrong
on
with
it.
the train.
There's good people on it. They're going to figure it out, but it's a big, complicated
Oh no, the
system.
workers are great, but for some reason, I don't know. When I lived in New Jersey and used New York public transit,
Mm,
I never had a problem.
mm.
I mean, I'm sure there's problems, but
Don't use
Okay.
DC Metro then. That just catches on fire like every other day.
yeah, I never had to deal with DC.
Nah.
I was shocked when we went to Europe because the London
Ooh,
Underground is amazing.
they win.
Like whoever makes a system is renovating a system. needs
Yeah,
to
but
go to
because that's like a primary transportation system, whereas our trains and stuff is like a tertiary.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
but
third or fourth option.
I'm talking about London specifically. Excuse me. That's weird.
Our TV just started playing stuff.
That's super creepy.
Eh.
No, but the London train system. Everything, I know this is like silly, it's like the organizer in me, but everything is color coded. Like the line is color coded, the seats and the poles are color coded. So when you're like running to catch a train and everything's like blown up to size 1,000,000 on the wall in the station. So you can be like, I need to get to such and such stop, and there it is. It's like this big. All painted on the wall in purple, and the train's purple, and the things are purple. And so when you're trying to find where you're going, you're like, purple train.
And
There's
that's
my
how
station.
and that's how clear you're gonna feel about your time and money.
There you go.
That's what you should say.
Font
You want
size 1,000,000.
Brown.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that just makes it visible.
Well, the midterm rehab will get you as clear as taking the tube.
In London.
How's that for some marketing?
Excuse me.
We have one final portion of the midterm rehab to discuss.
Oh, hey, oh, how about that career development plan? Because the truth is, I think the internet, like we haven't figured out how to use this thing right when it comes to jobs. What's happened is companies now have access to every single qualified candidate on the planet.
Mhm.
And so, it used to be this thing where when unemployment was high, you had a problem finding jobs because there was more jobs than there were people. And so it was a buyer's market or whatever you want to call that.
Mhm.
I think the internet has artificially created that situation for every job that's posted.
Well, and they post it in several locations, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes the listing is ambiguous. You're like, is that
No idea
what I am? Do I qualify?
already been met, and they haven't taken it down. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
that one's the
the
worst.
reliable internet
It's rough.
sources is hard too. There's too much.
I read a stat one time that you can just go ahead and assume that any job you find online had 10,000 applications. And so the question is, how do you stand out?
Mhm.
How do you be the one or the 15 that get called for an interview? Because they ain't talking to 1,000 people.
Nope.
The answer is by doing something that everybody around you isn't. And I can't wait to tell you what that is.
Yeah.
We're going to show you ways to bypass the computer and talk to human beings. I'm going to talk about what a resume is actually good for, and a little preview here. It's not about getting you a job. We're going to show you how to network online and how to really contact potential employers and turn that into opportunity. And so,
Cool.
a lot of fun there.
So how long?
The whole thing, I think part of it probably depends on how long you take to do the activities.
Mhm.
We're planning about an hour and 15 of video.
Okay.
And then there's going to be the 5 worksheets that you'll work through. So some of those might go quickly for you. Some of them might take a little while. But I'm guessing the whole experience is maybe 2-3 hours, something like that.
I think you can handle that.
I think I can. I'm sure they can.
I
too.
mean, them.
Right. But
Mhm.
this is called midterm rehab for a reason. It's not going to save you the week before finals, and it certainly won't work the week after finals. I don't want to waste anybody's time by teaching them something that they can't use and see a benefit from. And while I believe all these things are always useful, this
Is geared.
offering is geared towards right now
Mhm.
getting you back on track so that this semester you can still crush it.
Mhm.
And so we're going to launch this next week, and it'll be available for the month of March, and then we're locking it out, and you can't sign up after that. You get a chance to go through it and get the experience, and if you've been through it, you'll have access beyond that,
Sure.
so you can refer back. But we're going to actually stop selling it at that time
Mhm.
so that it really just serves the people well who have the time to use it.
Makes sense.
So act fast or something like that.
Act now.
Yeah. Where's
And
Ron?
where's our giant yellow
right? Or the ShamWow guy.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
It's only $9.99. If you buy one, you get the second one free.
Well,
Got to pay
What-
shipping and handling.
yeah, Karen feeding. We are obviously bootstrapped here. We
Mhm.
are figuring this out as we go. We are working on a final price, but we also know that we're talking about selling to college students. And
Mhm.
so the answer is it's going to be reasonable. We don't have fancy sign up systems and all that stuff in place. If this is a thing that interests you at all, you should send me a DM. You should leave a comment on this video. However it is that you want to get in touch with us, the sooner you let us know, the easier it is for us to talk with you and get you set up on this stuff and work with you on making it all go. So I am still at the Tony Farrar on all the things. So you can hit me up on whatever your favorite platform is, or you can just drop a comment right here on this video.
Sounds good.
If you happen to know what school I work at, and you happen to be a person who also works or goes there, you should know that there's a special deal involved, and you should talk to me about that.
I like
Just,
that. Cryptic.
you have anything you want to add?
Except for when you mentioned the whole bootstrap thing, I realized that I'm bootstrapping my production skills, and whenever I put the graphics up, I didn't have the microphone on that scene, so the audio clipped each time I went to that.
You're doing a local recording though, right?
I'm doing a local recording of the video, yes, but it won't have the audio because I switched those scenes. It's okay. We're talking like seconds.
That's cool.
I was gonna say, how long was it up?
And,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, we forgot to start the audio recording on our end. So
I remember.
it's just that night. It's just that night.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not all there today.
Oh,
Apparently,
it's been rough.
15 months, Justin. I don't know if you experienced this. The children decide that they want to assert their independence.
We
Did
had
this happen with?
the worst were just growth spurts, and they happen about a week
Oh my
every
goodness.
5.
I'm glad my son is persistent, but whew.
Yeah. He really did assert his independence though. He moved out. He's got his own apartment.
Hey,
It's awesome.
there you go.
So let's
Today
wrap
I
it
wish
up.
that were true. Yeah.
Wrapping up. If you care to watch us actually push the button to pay off our last student loan, Friday at 8, there might even be tacos involved. We're going to throw a little confetti for ourselves or something like that.
Now
where we
there
don't
has to be tacos involved. You do realize that.
We're going to.
Yes.
Right. All right. I'm on
You'll have to
taco
go- you'll have to
detail.
go get me tacos.
We'll get tacos. Other than that, reach out any way you can, get in touch with me, and we will get you set up for midterm rehab. The most important thing is getting a chance to use this before it's too late. Really want to help you out and make this an awesome semester for you. So, as always, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for giving us your attention. Push all those buttons, like, share, comment, etc. This will be popping up on YouTube soon, so if you missed it live, you can tell your friends to go watch it there. And if you have any questions or thoughts, drop a comment right here. Ready for my cheesy line?
Yes.
You're only 2 or 3 hours away from the best semester of your life.
Wow.
Wow.
That happened.
Does it hurt that I don't take myself seriously either?
Mm. It's been a day.
Yeah.
How about we just say goodbye? Have a great night, everybody.
Have a
Thanks
great night.
again.